Your home isn't messy because you don't clean enough. It's messy because things keep coming in quietly repeatedly, and most of the time without you really noticing. You clean the table, organize the shelves, and tell yourself you'll keep it under control this time. But a few days later, the clutter is back, and that's the part that feels exhausting. Not just the mess, but the feeling that no matter how much effort you put in it, never really stays done. At some point, it starts to feel confusing. Like you're doing all the right things, cleaning, organizing, decluttering, but something still isn't working. And it's easy to turn that frustration inward and think maybe you're just bad at keeping things tidy. The truth is, the problem often isn't how you clean. It's what you keep allowing into your space habits, purchases, little decisions that feel harmless in the moment, but slowly pile up. In this video, I'm sharing 7 things I'm no longer doing or buying. Not as strict rules to follow and not as a challenge to be more disciplined, but as simple, realistic changes that stopped clutter at the source. These aren't dramatic lifestyle shifts. They're small decisions that made my space easier to manage, my routines lighter, and my home feel calmer without constant effort. If you're tired of cleaning the same mess over and over, this video isn't about doing more. It's about changing a few things so the mess doesn't come back so easily in the first place. First, eating out alone often felt unfulfilling, and I used to think it was just a waste of money on unnecessary meals. While dining out can be enjoyable when shared with friends or family, eating by myself left me feeling dissatisfied and like I wasn't getting value for my money. So I decided to stop eating out alone. Instead of spending money on unimportant meals, I focus on eating at home. Not only did I save money, I also learned how to cook simple, quick, and delicious dishes. In this way, I feel every meal is valuable, and my living space also becomes tidier because I no longer have the habit of throwing away food packaging or utensils after each time I eat out. The feeling of eating at home, though simple, brings more satisfaction. And you can also try this. Start by spending your budget on more meaningful meals, sharing them with loved ones, instead of rewarding yourself with a meal out alone. Tomorrow I'll be sharing more tips on how to clean your house in the spring, such as organizing your pantry, sorting, and replenishing supplies in an organized manner. The second tip: I used to buy clothes simply because they were trendy or on sale without considering their quality. If they looked good in the store or seemed like a good deal, I would grab them. But over time, I realized many of these clothes were poorly made and didn't last long. They ended up cluttering my wardrobe, and I felt like I was just wasting money. So I decided to stop buying poorly made clothes. Instead, I started focusing on investing in quality pieces that I truly love and that will last longer. I began paying more attention to the materials, choosing natural fibers and versatile items that I can wear with anything. This not only saved me money in the long run, but it also helped me create a wardrobe I actually enjoy wearing without constantly adding to the clutter. You can do this too next time you go shopping. Think about the long-term value of an item, not just the price tag or trend. Focus on building a wardrobe that's functional and sustainable. This was a big one for me because packaged snacks and ready-made meals sneak into daily life very easily. They don't feel like a problem at first. You grab a bag of chips because it's quick. You throw a frozen meal into the cart because you're tired. In the moment, it feels practical. But over time, I started noticing the pattern: more packaging in the trash, more half-finished snacks in the pantry, and a kitchen that always felt cluttered no matter how often I cleaned it. The issue wasn't just health. It was the constant buildup. Boxes, wrappers, bags, half-used items pushed to the back of the shelf. Every time I opened the pantry, it felt crowded and chaotic. And that chaos made it even easier to keep buying more of the same things because nothing felt clear or organized anymore. So instead of trying to eat perfectly or cook complicated meals, I made a much simpler decision. I stopped buying snacks and meals that were designed only for convenience. Not all at once and not aggressively. I just started cutting back. When I went shopping, I paused before grabbing packaged snacks and asked myself if I could replace this with something simpler at home. What surprised me was how little effort it actually took. Fresh snacks don't need to be fancy. Washing and cutting fruit once or twice a week made a huge difference. Keeping carrots, cucumbers, or apples ready to grab meant I wasn't reaching for packaged food out of habit. For meals, I started preparing basic ingredients instead of full dishes. A pot of rice, some beans, roasted vegetables, things that could be mixed and matched without much thinking. This change did three things at the same time. First, it saved money. Buying ingredients instead of constant snacks reduced impulse spending without feeling restrictive. Second, it made the kitchen easier to manage. Fewer packages meant fewer things to organize, fewer expired items, and less visual clutter. And third, it quietly changed my habits. When food was simpler and visible, I ate more intentionally instead of mindlessly. This isn't about cutting out all convenience. It's about choosing the kind of convenience that doesn't create more mess later. A fridge with a few ready ingredients is far easier to deal with than a pantry full of random snack bags. And once the clutter decreases, the habit becomes easier to maintain. If you feel stuck in a cycle of buying snacks, cleaning, and buying them again, try this shift. Start small. Prep one or two fresh options you actually like. Don't aim for perfect eating, aim for fewer packages and clearer space. Over time, your kitchen will feel lighter, calmer, and much easier to keep under control. This was one of those habits I didn't question for a long time. Getting my nails done felt normal. It felt like a small reward, something harmless I did for myself every few weeks. Everyone around me was doing it, so I never stopped to ask whether it actually fit my life. But over time, I started noticing how much time, money, and mental energy it was quietly taking. A salon visit isn't just the appointment itself. It's scheduling travel time, waiting, and then coming back again when the nails chip or grow out. And for me, the enjoyment didn't last very long. I liked my nails for a few days, maybe a week, and after that they started to feel impractical. Washing my hair, cleaning, typing, cooking, everything became a little more annoying. I realized I wasn't maintaining my nails because I loved them, but because it had turned into a routine. That's when I decided to stop going to the nail salon altogether. Not as a rule, but as an experiment. Instead of booking appointments, I bought a very simple at-home manicure kit. Nothing fancy, just the basics. I started doing my nails at home when I felt like it, without pressure to make them perfect or trendy. What surprised me most was how little I missed the salon. My nails didn't look dramatic, but they looked clean, neat, and cared for, which was actually all I needed. Doing my nails at home gave me control over the timing and the style. If I didn't feel like doing them, I didn't. If they chipped, it wasn't a big deal. There was no guilt about wasting money or needing to go back again. This change also reduced clutter in an unexpected way. No more bottles of leftover polish from salon visits, no constant receipts, no mental note of when I needed to go again. One small kit, one drawer, done. This isn't about never treating yourself. It's about choosing self-care that fits into your real life instead of adding more obligations. If nail appointments feel like another task rather than something you genuinely enjoy, try stepping back. Give yourself a simple DIY nail routine at home. It saves time, saves money, and removes one more recurring thing from your schedule while still letting you feel put together in a way that's easy to maintain. This is another habit I didn't realize was affecting my space until I really looked around. Like many women, I love cute things. A small decorative item here, a little figurine there, they feel harmless in the moment. They're inexpensive, easy to justify, and often bought as a quick mood boost. I did this a lot too. But over time, those small items started to quietly take over my home. What I noticed wasn't just the physical clutter, but the mental weight that came with it. Every trinket needed a place. Every surface started to feel busy. Shelves, tables, corners, all filled with things that didn't really do anything. They didn't improve how I lived in my space, and they didn't bring long-term joy either. Most of them just sat there collecting dust while I kept cleaning around them. I realized that I was using Decor to try to make my home feel cozy or complete, when in reality it was doing the opposite. The more random items I added, the harder it became to maintain a calm, clean environment. Cleaning took longer. Organizing felt endless, and nothing ever felt finished. So I decided to stop buying Decor just because it was cute. Not because Decor is bad, but because I wanted my space to feel intentional instead of crowded. I started asking myself a different question: does this item actually add value to my daily life? Does it serve a purpose, or does it just fill space? I shifted my focus to fewer, more meaningful pieces. Things that were either practical or truly important to me. A tray that keeps things contained. A basket that hides everyday clutter. A decorative item that also stores something or gets used regularly. When everything has a reason to be there, the space feels lighter and easier to manage. What surprised me most was how much calmer my home felt with less decor. Fewer things to move when cleaning. Fewer decisions about where something belongs. Less visual noise. My space didn't feel empty, it felt clear. This doesn't mean you need a minimalist home or that you should get rid of everything decorative. It just means being more selective. Next time you feel tempted to buy a small knick-knack, pause for a moment and ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it make my space easier to live in or harder to maintain? Most of the time, skipping it will bring more relief than buying it ever could. It's easy to overlook the small recurring fees that slip into our monthly bank accounts. Things like forgotten subscriptions or unexpected charges. At first, these expenses seem insignificant, but over time they can add up and take a serious toll on your budget. Streaming services, app subscriptions, or even extra shipping costs that you didn't notice can quickly create unnecessary clutter in your finances. I realized that keeping track of these hidden fees is crucial, so I started reviewing my credit card and bank statements regularly. Each month I go through every charge and make sure I'm not paying for anything I no longer need or use. If I find a subscription that I forgot about or an unexpected fee, I cancel it right away. This simple habit has helped me save money and keep my finances more organized. I recommend doing the same. Set aside a few minutes each month to go over your accounts and eliminate anything that isn't necessary. It's a quick task that can have a big impact, helping you stay on top of your spending and avoid unnecessary financial clutter. This is one of the easiest ways clutter builds up without us noticing beauty products. A new lip balm goes on sale, a friend recommends a face cream, or a new mascara launches with great reviews. None of these purchases feel like a big deal on their own. They're small, affordable, and easy to justify. I used to do this all the time, telling myself I was just trying something new. But over time, I realized how quickly these small purchases added up. Drawers filled with half-used products, multiple versions of the same item scattered in different bags, shelves, and cabinets. Some products expired before I even touched them. And every time I cleaned or reorganized, I was reminded of how much money and space had been wasted on duplicates I didn't actually need. So I decided to change one simple habit. I stopped buying new beauty products until I finished what I already had. Not as a strict rule, but as a pause. Before buying anything, I checked my collection first. If I still had a similar product at home, I didn't buy another. If something ran out completely, only then would I replace it intentionally. This shift made a bigger difference than I expected. My beauty space became easier to organize because there were fewer items competing for space. Getting ready felt simpler because I wasn't choosing between 5 similar products, and I stopped feeling that low-level guilt of owning things I wasn't using. This isn't about never trying new products. It's about respecting what you already own. Before buying the latest beauty item, take a moment to look at what's in your drawer. Chances are you already have more than enough. Letting go of duplicate buys saves money, reduces waste, and keeps your space calm without sacrificing anything you actually need. Applying these tips will not only help your living space become tidier, but also help you live simply and be more aware of what you really need. In fact, changing your shopping consumption habits, or the way you manage your belongings, is not too difficult. You just need to start with small changes and gradually implement them in your daily life. Try applying each tip one by one and see if it works. You will find that with just a few small adjustments, your living space will not only become more organized, but a feeling of comfort and relaxation will also come naturally. If you feel that these changes make your life easier, don't hesitate to share these tips with those around you. Because when life becomes simpler, we can spend more time on the things that really matter. If you found these tips helpful, please share this video and make sure to check out my next one, where I'll be sharing even more ways to clean and organize your living space for the new year. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on practical tips that will make your life easier and more organized.